Let's go, y'all. Pokemon Black and White. Oh, Pokemon Black 2 in this case. We ballin'. First Pokemon stream. I'm gonna do Pokemon stream, Pokemon series in between Terraria ones. So yeah, and VTuber's up again. Yeah! Chorus high. Let's frickin' do this! Let's get into it. I should make it clear that I've never played Pokemon Black 2 before. So this is, and I'm doing water types only. So that's gonna be fun. New game. Let's get going. Hi, Juniper. Hi there. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Professor Juniper. Everyone calls me the Pokemon Professor. Chinchino. That's right, this world is widely inhabited by mysterious creatures called Pokemon. Pokemon have mysterious powers. They come in many shapes and live in many different places. We humans live happily with Pokemon, living and working together. We complement each other. Sorry. We help each other out to accomplish difficult tasks. Having Pokemon battle one another is particularly popular, and it deepens the bond between people and Pokemon. That is why I research Pokemon. Well, that's enough for me. Could you tell me about yourself? You a boy or a girl? I'm a boy. You're a boy, I am. What's your name? Please tell me. Oh, wait. I just... Oh, I paused it. Okay, lowercase. We'll just do Nick. I don't think Nick Master will, in the thing. Oh wait, that's... I accidentally put on Numwalk somehow. Sorry, one of my, potential voice actors texted me. My name is indeed Nick. So your name's Nick. What a wonderful name. Can you tell me a little about your friend, the older boy who lives nearby? Would you mind telling me his name? Ah, so we're doing this again. So if you saw my, Pokemon, Infinite Fusion series, you'll know what I'm gonna name this guy. Actually, I don't even know if it has enough letters. There'll be just enough letters. There we go. Quentin, did I get that right? Yes, you did. Nick, I'm going to entrust you with a Pokemon. I'm sure we'll be great partners. The moment you choose the Pokemon that will accompany you on your journey, your story will truly begin. During your journey, you'll meet many people in Pokemon with different personalities and points of view. I really hope you'll learn what is important to you as a result of your travels. That's right, befriend new people in Pokemon and grow as a person. Sorry, That's the most important goal of your journey. Let's go visit the world of Pokemon. I can press attack actually helps. Spring. There's seasons? There's seasons to this? Little house. Oh. Where's my... Oh. Oh, call. Oh, hi. Why, Uria Juniper. Uria is your name? I didn't know that old first name. It's been far too long. What can I do for you? Wow, Pokedex from my child? Well, that's great. I think a journey will be a wonderful experience. What now? She's already here? Oh, for Pete's sake, you never change. Once you decide on something, you just start going. Okay, Bianca, right? Big green hat. Got it. Okay, no worries. Nick, I'm home. What am I doing? Oh, it's automatically, okay. Do you know Professor Juniper? She's a famous Pokemon researcher. Actually, she's an old friend of mine, and she called me today for the first time in ages. This is out of the blue, but Nick, do you want to have a Pokemon? Yes. Okay, step 1 completed. Well then, do you know what a Pokedex is? Yes. I knew you would. Isn't it amazing how automatically records Pokemon you encounter? It tells you anyway. Okay. Yeah, another question. You want a Pokedex, right? Yes. Okay, step 2 completed. Nick, your course of action has been set. A girl named Bianca has come here to meet you. I wonder what happens if you say no. It just can't stop the game. It's Professor Juniper's assistant. I was told to simply look for a big green hat. That's right, you're gonna go look for Bianca, and then you'll get a Pokedex and a Pokemon to become your partner. Oh, your X-Transceiver's in your bag, right? Do you know how to open your bag? Yes. The girl named Bianca, I was told you should look for a big green hat. You won't be lost, because this is our first time here. Go look for her. Is there a speed up? Oh, it does not look like it. So to open your bag, X-Transceiver is a thing, apparently. X-Transceiver. You just call your mom. Okay, that's dumb. That's stupid. Hi, Nick. Oh, there's Quentin. Hey, you got a Pokemon yet? There aren't many Pokemon trainers around here. I'm getting bored. There aren't many Pokemon trainers around here, and I'm getting bored. What's that? Person named Bianca is giving you a Pokemon, really? Quinn's sister, Nick? If you get a Pokemon, take really, really good care of it. Okay? Noted. Quentin, yeah. Why the dot dot dot? Why the dot dot dot? You're scaring me. Okay, let's go get your Pokemon. There's something I have to do. And to do that, I need someone I can trust beside my Pokemon. A person I can trust. That's right, I'm talking about you. You seem like you got good instincts. You head on home. Okay, big brother. Bye-bye, Nick. Quinn, alright. Let's go find that person named Bianca. Let's go. Do I have to look in houses? think I want to look at houses. That's fun. That's an interesting, like, fade in to, like, get in a building. Is this where Bianca is? No, it's not Bianca's house. This isn't the Pokemon. Oh, crap. Crap. What'd I press? Crap. Did I, like, split this into 2 windows? What did I do? Frick. Layout. There we go. We got it. When the trainer school was just finished. Oh, it's a trainer school. So that's what the trainer school looks like, yeah? In here, maybe? It don't look like a Bianca's here. Oh, that's kind of sad. Bianca. Oh, there's an upstairs, up area. Well, not upstairs, but up area. Well, Quinn. Oh, I get it. That look is a spirited spot. I bet Bianca's up there looking at the cereal. Come on, go get your Pokemon already. Ah, I see. Yep, man, that's one. Oh, it's so pretty. Hey there, don't you agree? Oh, my name is Bianca. I'm the assistant of the Pokemon professor, Professor Juniper. By the way, I'm looking for someone. Do you know a person named Nick? Well, I do. That's me. He's me. Oh wait, you're Nick. Wow, you're exactly like what I heard. Nice to meet you. I have a really important request to ask you. Will you help us complete the Pokedex? Yeah. Oh wow, thanks. Your support will help Professor Juniper research move forward. Sorry to say, but I'm only getting water types. Anyway, filling the Pokedex is totally fun. About that. Okay then, ta-da! And here's the Pokemon that would be your partner. Not sure what. I thought of a nickname. I don't know if it'll work in this. So, Ashawat, our first partner. Oh wow, you and Ashawat are a perfect match. By the way, would you like to give a nickname to the Pokemon you chose? Yes. Oh, I can. Okay, it actually has a good amount. There, Ashawasha the Ashawat. Yep, that is the nickname I want. Ashawasha, that is such a great name. Now you've got your Pokemon, so I'll give you this too, a Pokedex. You received the Pokedex. You want to know what it does? I didn't even get a choice. The Pokedex is a high-tech device that automatically records the Pokemon that you encounter. So Professor Juniper wants you to carry this Pokedex, visit a lot of places, and meet all the Pokemon in the Unova region. I gladly won't. Is there anything else? Still, without Professor Juniper, the normal thing to do is get an okay before sending someone clear out here, right? Okay. So I have to go find Professor Juniper. Oh. Hey, how long are you planning on keeping me waiting anyway? Hey, what's that? So that's your partner, huh? That's great. My sister already said so, but take really good care of your Pokemon, got it? What's that you're holding there? It's a Pokedex! Please give me a Pokedex too. I want to get stronger. If I have a Pokedex, I can learn more about Pokemon. That'll make me tougher, right? Who are you again? I'm Quentin. I'm going to travel to the Unova region with my Pokemon partner in order to search for something very important. Okay. I don't really get it, but going on a journey is always good. Anyway, I just happen to have another Pokedex on me. How lucky. It looks like Pokemon distribution has really changed compared to 2 years ago, so the more the merrier. This is like the cat distribution system. Ooh, I just saw something cool. You're with that Pokemon, right? Why don't you have a Pokemon battle? Let's see how good a trainer you are. I'll use my Snivy that I raised from... Oh god, a Snivy. It's one of those games, right? I can't wait to get Ducklet. Ooh. I like this music. It's weird. So that worries me. You might be able to one-shot me now. Oh, no, we're good. We're good, we win. Okay. Deco! It's over. I like that music though. Level 6. Water gun. Oh, yeah. Oh no, water gun. I couldn't hear victory from my partner. I won't let myself forget the destruction. Or I think that's what it said. Sorry. I lost. This is different than battling with wild Pokemon. Well, whatever. I'm just happy to know that you're a trainer I can count on. Cool, I'm heading off first. Get stronger. You should get stronger. The Pokemon on both sides did their best. This little one is still weak, so battle with it and make it stronger. Alrighty, let's go make your Pokemon better at the Pokemon Center. It's like the best place ever for Pokemon who battle and get hurt. The Pokemon Center is the same no matter where you are. Let's go inside. Okay, I'll show you around the Pokemon Center. Oh, there's Pokemarks in them too. That's nice, actually. The Pokemon Center heals Pokemon for free. You should bring your Pokemon here whenever... Oh, I keep forgetting to do the voice. Anytime they're weak. I'll hear your... I'll hear your Pokemon and your Pokemon. The heal. Heal it! Next, I'll explain the PC. The square thing is a PC. Any trainer is free to use it. You can deposit Pokemon in it. Also, you can withdraw Pokemon from it. Can you get voice mod going? I'll do the next stream. Next thing is here. Pokemart. This is the Pokemart. Here you can buy and sell many different items. The Pokeballs you use to catch Pokemon can also be bought at the Pokemart. Here, Nick, I'll give you some Pokeballs. 10 Pokeballs! Yay! Next up, I'll show you how to use those Pokeballs. Follow me. What? I can't say hi? Okay. Oh wait. No, that's not what I want. Where do I... Oh, I buy from... Ah, I see. Oh yeah, there's mail. I forgot there's mail. God, there's mail in the game. Let's see what you have in stock. Pokeball and potion. Okay. Let's see how many Pokeballs I got. 10, okay. Decent amount. I hope there's a ducklet or something on the early route or something. No. Keep pressing the button. Oh, hi. Who is that? Mom, oh, nice to meet you. You must be Bianca, right? And Nick the Joshwash then. Hee hee, you're looking good. Oh, I almost forgot. Here, take these. They're running shoes. Oh, thank God. It's going too slow. I proceed with a pair of running shoes. A perfect fit. I'll read the instructions to you. Hold the B button to run faster than normal. Put on the running shoes and race around to your heart's content. Now you and Oshawott can run anywhere you want. Quinn's sister, this is for me. Oh, what is that? The town map. Oh, it's a town map. Okay, of course. Ah, I see. That's a good idea. Even if it's a single word to the ocean, the map is always nice. I mean, if you use a town map, you'll know all about what the region is like. Ah, you guys, just watching this makes me happy. Come on, we're headed for Route 19. 19? Oh my God! I'll teach you how to catch a Pokemon. Okay then. Bon voyage! Take Oshawott and go see my favorite Pokemon and people with your own eyes. Yeah, they can run. Can actually move for once. Oh. Oh, I have a Pokemon. You're with Oshawott! Okay, this is a going away gift. Don't be shy, take it. Potion. Nice, okay. When Pokemon get hurt, take it easy and go to a Pokemon Center. Hey, this way! This kind of reminds me of that day on Route 1. Okay, here's how it works. The Pokédex pages fill up automatically when you meet Pokemon. When you catch a Pokemon, more detailed information on it is added to the Pokédex. Here, I'll show you how to catch a Pokemon. Start now! Purloin. Can't use that. Wow. Purloin was caught. I don't really care, honestly. Literally, if I caught a Pokemon. Oh, I'm right. I'll go over the important stuff. If I have the Pokemon to catch, you need to remember this next bit. It's best to lower a Pokemon's HP before you try to catch it. Use your Pokemon's move to lower the HP of the Pokemon you want to catch. Making it fall asleep or paralyzing it will make it even easier to catch. You're going to go deliver the town out to your friend, right? Continue straight this way to get to Philosophy Town? Fine now, meet lots of Pokemon and catch a lot of them, okay? I very much won't, but okay. Unless there's like a ducklet or something on Route 1. We'll see what's in Route 1. I will train my Pokemon though. Purloin. Do. He took out his little paddle. I just realized that. That's cute. His little scout shop. That's what's called. Scout shop. Ow. That hurted. Portland got him. Leveled up. Water gun. I have a stab moving now. What is there than purloins? I said other than purloins. Well, glad I train up the Oshawott. I said other than purloins. Please. Asha, what's up? Make cutest sounds in anime. Well, one of them. One of the cutest, not quite the cutest. Can I get something other than a purloin, please? Patrat, not a normal, not a water type. He's a normal type. I use tackle, not water gun. Damn. Level 8. Do one more encounter, because I'm pretty sure there's another Pokemon at least. Okay, fine. No, yes, there's not. Boo Ashawasha. Not Boo Ashawasha, Boo Patrat, I meant. Ashawasha with W's. Patrat L. Or Patrat, I guess, is what they're called. Okay. Let's... Oh, there's another patch of grass. What's in this patch of grass? Or Patrat, okay. Great. I want to see what the other encounter is from this patch of grass. If it's just purloin or what. Come on, stop it, Patrat. I don't care about you. One shot, haha. Show me what this other. It's just purloin. Okay, whatever. Do. Let's get this thing. Potion. It just goes. It has a wink. Do. What's in this patch of grass? Anything different? No. It's another Patrat. I don't want to be in that guy's sights. Oh, you there, trainer. Oh, hi. My name is Outer. I'm a trainer with a keen interest in the world. One of my goals is to tell people how wonderful it is to walk towards the future together with Pokemon. And you are? So you're Nick from Esperitia City. I these names. Okay, what are you doing? Your Ashwa is a fine-looking Pokemon, but you're not exactly a seasoned trainer yet. Indeed, I'll train you a little. Follow me. I need a heal. Yes. Oh wait, frick. No. Oopsie again. Okay, hi, Outer. Oh, that's right, Nick. Are your Pokemon well? Your Pokemon are always doing the best for you, the trainer, so you must always be kind to them. My house is just a little farther. Stop by the Pokemon Center first if you'd like. I just did that. What park? Nice this. Old clock tower. Got it. Pokemon Gold and Silver moment. Hi. Hey, this way. Shall we start trading? By the way, why are you holding 2 town maps? Oh, it's your friend's town map, is it? Your friend is the one with the Snivy, isn't he? Just so happens he was training his Pokemon Route 20. If that's the case, you go give him the town map first. Just follow this road. It leads to Route 20. Does Route 20 have ducklets in it? Welcome battle time. You can tell which your opponent wants to fight by looking into his or her eyes, don't you think? It is very much like after playing the frickin' Crown Tundra, what is it called? Why can't I remember? Not Teal Mask and Twister Area Zero DLC, whatever. Indigo Disc. It makes me realize how similar the battle themes are. I knew it was based off Unova, but dang. It's very similar. Bye, Patrat. 9. Wow, I could really tell that you want to win. Yeah, I don't want to lose. Hey there. Hey you, have you seen my cute Pokemon? Take a look. I'd rather not, but okay. If I have to. Isabel. Floyd. That thing is full malicious intent. Full malicious intent, like full of it. Oh, it's so close! I'm going to take damage for it. There you go. Okay. Let's get that item. Let's get this item. And what is in route this? I want to know. What is in this route? That's a waddle. I know they're part grass type, so I should probably run. Is there ducklet? Is ducklet the thing? No, only Sawaddle. Okay. Oh, level 2. I'll take a level 2. Level 2's not that bad. I don't think I would have a grass move by now. I have a bug move, but not a grass move. Yeah, I knew a bug move. That's what I thought. Still not faster than my Ashwasha. Is it those pit of, not ducklet. I need ducklet! Ducklet temple. That's another word too. Oh wait, can I not just go that way? I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I'm pretty annoying. I'm just gonna run away from you, I don't care. I could probably one-shot you, but I don't really care, honestly. I found Felicity Ranch. There's a ranch here? Is this a wild air encounter area? Oh, hi! Oh, nice, you come here to toughen up. Alright, let's see how much stronger you become. Come at me. Hey! I didn't want to battle immediately. What the fuck was that? Why? Snivy immediately. Okay. Oh wow, you're already low. Okay, it wasn't just me. When realizing the levels. Okay. Bro probably has a grass type move and it's kind of worrying me. Great. Dang it. Okay, we are. Just don't have a grass type move and we're good. Okay, we're good. Nav it down. Level 10. Okay, lost. Need to apologize to my partner. Nah. It's just me being too good. Not bad. You think out how to bring out your Pokemon strengths? I should be able to count on you for backup. What are you doing here anyway? Town map? Yeah, we got the town map. She didn't have to do that. Thanks to you, we just left and you're already helping me out. Hi. I thought it was lively around here. You were having a Pokemon battle, huh? Isn't it nice to be young? Who are you? Who am I? I'm the owner of this ranch, and this is my wife. After a Pokemon battle, you should heal your Pokemon's HP, right? Here, I'll give you this. Potion. And one for you. It's nice to have Pokemon's when you're potions when you're far away from a Pokemon Center. By the way, you didn't have to happen to see a herder around here. Can't figure out where it went. Or two here are always together, and this is the first time one has wandered off, so I'm a bit worried. You're a little worried? Are you kidding me? Your Pokemon will be last forever. Whatever. Oh look, Nick, help out. Why'd he get so mad? Agreed. I think it's probably just playing somewhere in the ranch. I wonder. By the way, dear, if your Pokemon get hurt, let me know. I'll make them feel better for you. Can I just... Heh. I don't even have to use the potion. Don't know if this counts as a wild grass. I don't know, but I have a feeling it does. No, it doesn't. Hey, Bill. Oh, there's a Mareep. I want to talk to you. Ba. Oh, here's the grass. Does it have wild Mareep? No, it's just wild freaking patch rats. It's always freaking patrats. Always. Never anything else. Oh, Riolu! I wish I was a freaking... I'm upset. I wish I was doing water type only. I so wish I wasn't doing a water type only challenge, because I would have taken that instantly. I'm sorry. I have to do it. I'm pretty sure it'll give good XP. I would have taken that Riolu instantly. I feel so bad. Oh man. Frickin' Batrat. But yeah, my plan is each stream to go through one of the 8 gyms. Or maybe a big plot point if... frick you. It's like a team area. Let's see what you have. Purloin, whatever. Water. Water is nice. Oh, Sawaddle, great. You probably have a grass move now, don't ya? Oh, no. You're also beefy, though, which I don't like that either. Crit! Yeah! Nice! Already being a legend, aren't you, Oshawott? Water sport. I forget what water sport does. Ah, frick you, Romp. Who's say? Get out of here. Okay, any other Pokemon like a Ducklet? Azurill! Azurill! I can catch that! That's a water type! Yo, W's in chat, we got a water type! Oh crap. Don't die. Okay, we're good, we're good. We got a water type to add to the team! Let's go, Azurill. What can I name him? I know what I can name him. It's normal, I know it's normal. It will turn into a water fairy, though. Or a water type in this case. It will be named... Blueberry. Good name. I'd say it's a good name. But I am satisfied now. Did your wonder back here? Oh. Bruh. Psyduck, another water type! Yo! We're getting lucky! How nice. We're getting water types already, which is nice. Oh, right. You said no. Last use item button, which is pretty cool. Okay, Psyduck, wow. Psyduck. No! 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 Fuck! Fuck my life. I sold that so hard. I guess we got another one here. It doesn't have Cloud 9, that's for sure. Well, don't know what else. I think it has amnesia or something? I don't know what the move is. I don't have. Oshawott, if you crit here, I'm zoning you. I didn't mean it! No, I didn't mean it! No! Wait! Wait, 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 wait! Wait, wait, wait! Wait! No! No, I'm not releasing you, I'm sorry. No. No! No! Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. Okay. This game extra hates me, huh? Lillipup. Lots of different Pokemon here. But I only want one, and that is a Psyduck. Not you, Lillipup. Not you. Give me Psyduck. Thank you. Boo-doo. Okay, didn't happen again. Let's catch this Psyduck. One. Oh wow, Psyduck is very angry. I don't know why the Psyduck's so angry and refusing to be caught, but... Or the Psyducks. 2, 3. Yay, Psyduck is caught. What do I name the Psyduck? I know what to name it. Psygreen. Perfect. Blueberry is not going to be that much of a help, so... Oh, frick. Another Psyduck. Don't need any more of ya. Sorry, but I am running. You know, I probably could get XP for the frickin' Azurill, but... Oh, here, it'll share something good with you. Paralyzed Heal. I'm guessing enough to face an electric type. If one of your Pokemon is paralyzed, use a test on it. Still, Pokemon don't just wander off on their own. In a worst case scenario, might be involved in some trouble. Pokemon do wander off on their own. I've seen multiple cases of it happening. Fuck. And I just trapped myself doing this maze. Okay. Might as well just battle this guy. Oh, I haven't seen you before. Would you mind sparring with me? Bro does not look like a janitor. Orville. A little pop. Is there XP? Oh, I don't know if there is actually, now that I think about it. So I might actually have Azuro in front. And then switch into Oshawott. Marie, I will switch to Azuro. It has huge power. Mwahaha! Shift? Ooh, baddie. I probably should have used a potion on him. So I will do that now. It's gonna use a next type. Thunder Wave. Fuck! Speed down. Bubble. Do it. Growl? I'll take a growl. I'll take that. Fuck. Okay, well, that was not great. I'll take another growl. Bubble, yay. Okay, yeah, we're switching. Sorry, you not really that good for this. Sure, what, do your thing. Tackle? Okay, I can take a tackle. Yeah, 3 damage, I can take that. Thunder Wave. Fuck the Thunder Wave. I hate you. Okay, that's done. Thank you, janitor, for paralyzing my Pokemon. I appreciate it a ton. Now I have to use my paralyze heals. Switch you and you. Another Azurill. Azurill battle. Critical hit, nice. Switching Psygrain. Splash. Longest battle ever. Oh, he's a bubble. Actually, he did an attacking move. 1 damage. 1 damage. Let's finish this. Get XP for both. Level 6 side blueberry and side green. Okay. Oh, I heard here. Did you hear that just now? I did. I'll check this area. You go down deeper into the grove and look. Ah! I see what happened. I see you down there. I do not like that you're doing that. Water gun. Pew pew. One shot. I want this Pokeball. Potion! Gloom. Hey! Heard of your yerp. That cry, you found it. What a relief. Okay, I'll go call it to Trinity. You go stay here with it. You little pest. I'm a member of a group that strikes fear into the hearts of those that stand before it. Team Plasma. Ever heard of it? Nope. That's right. We're the richest group that conquered Unova 2 years back in order to liberate Pokemon. Whatever. Fools will never understand us. Oh, so black is like the black and white games are canon? Like in this, it's not like a cyber trainer, huh? First I got lost chasing Herdier, and now some nosy kid caught me. All this is your fault. Take this. The fuck? Okay, I'll use that opportunity to retreat for now. Huh? Huh? The fuck happened? Huh? Dang. You're kind of mad, Quinn. Why are you so mad? You need to calm down. Oh no, something happened to him. It's like he's afraid of losing Pokemon. Come on, Herdier, everyone's waiting, let's go home. Dang it, I can't go home myself. I want to go home too. Okay, well that detour is done. Because I'm going right. Come on, a kid was a single patch containing last year. So I'm supposed to battle its gym leader first? Noted. Oh, side grain here. Okay, yeah, I might just we'll just switch to Ashabasha. Like, is there supposed to be a place I'm supposed to go? Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to battle with Outer. Oh, it looks like you delivered the town map to your friend. You've only gone a moment, but you and your Pokemon have grown. Well, I can almost mistake you for someone else. Well, then, instead of training you, I'd like you and your Pokemon to give me a hand. No? See what this hand is. Oh, are we going to help train that person, sir? Really? But that trainer looks really tough. That's right, this trainer may be tough, but you can learn from losing as well. More importantly, haven't I been telling you just enjoy Pokemon battles? So Nick, please be their opponent. I'll show you what's cool about my Pokemon. A Pansia. Oh, level 9, nice. That'll be some good XP. Now I just tackle it. And that Pansiera is down. 7 Blueberry Water Gun. Bubbles 20. Oh. I thought Bubble had more damage, not gonna lie. They all left or something later? Maybe? You get out to teach me more things. That was a fine battle, both of you. Well, next we have... Ready? First we have to heal your Pokemon, Nick. Thank you. Some Pokemon battles are side by type matchups. Oh god, it's gonna be a grass type. I know it's gonna be a grass type. It's gonna be Pan Sage. Yep. Called it! Well, Blueberry, you got your work cut out. Tail Whip up. I'm just gonna need to do some damage. Some, like, tail whips and stuff. Two tail whips and then I can bring in someone else. Which will, you know who it is gonna be, but... Well, if it's gonna use Scratch, might as well send out Side Green, take one hit, and then... You'll get XP from this. Don't you dare use a grass move now. Okay, thank you. Sure what, you can come out. Lick. Brown has lick for some reason. Lick. I don't like that. Don't paralyze me. I swear to God. Okay, thank you. It's over. Oh, stick Sigrain. Now it's truly a rousing battle. Whatever. I could tell that all of the Pokemon were enjoying themselves as well. How about it, Nick? Pokemon types are very important in battle, aren't they? Yeah. Water is strong against fire, fire is strong against grass, grass is strong against water, I know that. Type matchups don't decide everything though, that's what I'm trying to prove. But listen, when a Pokemon uses a move that matches this type, the move becomes more powerful. Let's heal those water working Pokemon. Azurill, you great job for Nick. Azurill? Meeting Pokemon and people you would have met, never would have met otherwise is truly one of the great things about traveling. Okay, noted. I know it's the sun, but nice to meet you. Now don't say anything, just take this. What? A metal box. As a metal box. And people call me Mr. Metal. Weird, okay. By the way, do you know a competition called the Metal Rally? No, I actually do not. Whether you know it or not, I'll explain it to you. The Metal Rally is an event that evaluates various activities of trainers, so in commemoration of your participation, please take this medal. First step medal. And here's some help for the Metal Rally. I'll give you some hint medals too. For information, you can get medals if you meet their conditions. Go to a Pokemon Center and get medals from me one after another. Please use your medal box and check the inside. Okay, noted. Oh, hi, Elder. Nick! As for the newly opened Pokemon Gym in Espertia City, I heard the new gym leaders arrived there. You should go test how strong you become. Is Espertia City the first town? I don't remember. Let's look at the metal box. Use menus and what's inside me. Press the A button when the crystals highlighting a metal or tap the box to write the name. Metal stores their favorite metal. Your favorite metal comes from other players. Okay. There's no password behind you. Ah, I see. I see what the I know what the path behind you means. I'm pretty sure. Yep, that's what I thought. Ooh, a secret area? What's this? What is this place? What is this place? I can't do anything here. What is the point of this place? Is there a point? I don't even get a medal for it. Like, what the fuck? I found an XP, nice. Cool. Okay, look at the town map. Okay, it's just where my home is. Okay, I got it. That's where the gym is, got it. Nick! Hi, Outer again. Excuse me, I gotta tell you something important. First, take these. Orange berries, cool. That's our orange berries. If you give one to your Pokemon, its HP will be restored. What's more, you can give them for your Pokemon a berry to hold, like this orange berry, for instance. When a Pokemon holds this berry, it can eat the berry if it gets hurt in the heat of battle and regain some of its lost HP. Well, I just told you to challenge your gym leader. Aspertia's gym leader is a very strong Pokemon trainer, but you have nothing to worry about. If you think hard about what the Pokemon at your side can do and what you should do as a trainer, victory will be yours. And then you should take on stronger and stronger trainers. Actually, take on the gym leaders of each city. Working together with your Pokemon is what makes you grow as a trainer. And as you and your Pokemon grow stronger, your role will get broader. Frick. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Oh my god. You are really weak, Blueberry. Just text me. Hey, we're real late. It's still not getting to move. Frick. Okay. Oh, frick. I accidentally pressed water sport. Worthless. Worthless. Okay, I'll go to the Pokemon Center and then I'm guessing that's the gym, I'm guessing? Oh, and I accidentally pressed stack. Ah! I hate this. Is the trainer school or is that the gym? It's a gym. Wait, Charon! Isn't he like one of the protagonists in regular Black and White? That's cool. Hello, I'm Clyde, the guide for trainers who challenge Pokemon gyms. Thanks for taking on the gym. Take this to commemorate your debut. Fresh water. Pokemon gyms are facilities for testing trainers' abilities. Put simply, if you can defeat the gym leader, it means you're a really good trainer. If you're not a Pokemon that can fight during a Pokemon battle, you lose, so having a lot of Pokemon with you might work to your advantage. You must be a challenger. Welcome to Aspertia City Pokemon Gym. I'm Charon, the gym leader. Well, maybe I'd say that I just became the gym leader. Most importantly, we need to prepare before welcoming you to the gym. We have a challenger. You two take your places. If we can defeat those two, then I'll be your opponent. Noted. Okay, we'll have to talk to them. Charon's top potential on me and maybe a trainer in this gym. Threats. Just tail whip him. Gosh, Watt's gonna have to carry, like he always does. I wonder what happened to their brothers. I remember in regular Black and White, I just know that it was a triple gem kind of thing. Don't know what happened though, so hopefully we'll find that out later. Ow! You actually have a really strong attack. Why is it lagging? Lillipop. I will switch in Psygrain. Could Psygrain could probably take a hit from him. Do one tail whip. And then I'll switch out. Order Sleuth. Oshawott. Is Oshawott gonna survive this? Don't know. Oh, the music! The music! Don't worry, we're healing you up. Forgot that was a thing. Dude. I need more healing. Thank you for the crit though. That helps a lot. Okay. Now. So you have another little pup. I would appreciate a crit happening. Dang it. Okay. I can take one more. Unless it crits. Oh, yeah. There we go. We got him. Nice. Okay, Patrat. Switch out to Psygrain, who will tank one attack as I heal. I think I just Oranberry. You tank it, yeah. Wahaha, I'm smart. I thought I was over leveling my Pokemon. I guess I was not. It's good to know. Bye-bye, Petrat. Focus energy. I'm not gonna use a water sport, so bye. I think I can beat Sharon. The power of said Oranberries that was given to me. Just as this is your first gym challenge, this is my first Pokemon battle as a gym leader. Nice. Let's both do our best and have a battle we can be proud of. Ooh, music. Vibin. Patrat again. Level 11. Oh my god. Blueberry, you're gonna have to weird the fuck out of this thing. Or tail whip the fuck out of this thing. Oh, I used workup. That's great. Okay. Me gonna have to get this thing out of here quickly. I'm scared. I'm mostly scared of this thing. Get that HP back. Water gun. You get this thing. Oh, it's gonna survive 2 hits. That's great. Oh, fuck. That's amazing. That's lovely. Well, that. Okay. It used a potion? Fuck me. Okay, at least I'm faster, but that was annoying. I forgot gym leaders can use potions. Not gonna lie. Lillipop. What? Yo, that's fire music. Do 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 do. Yo, fire. It just occurred to me that I was using defense, using a special attacking move each time. This is gonna be great though. Fuck. I don't think I'm healed enough for this. Yeah, I'm not healed enough for this. Fuck, I lost. Wow, I actually lost. To be fair, I did not have enough healing items. But yeah, that was bad. That was bad. That was just horrible. Ugh. I also thought I was overleveled. That's embarrassing. Yeah, I should probably do that. Should probably get some potions. I'll go like 7. And now that I have water types, I should probably train them. You know, that would be probably a good idea. But I think the best training would be against those guys. Let's run it back. Let's run this shit back. Haha. I love AI mistakes. We love AI mistakes. I love that I had this music. I love this music. Just continue to whipping it. Well, Oshawott, it's your time. One attack is all I need. And it's over! W's. W's in the chat. And there's been no viewers the whole time, sadly. Well, that's a level. Well. Yes, this is what a real Pokemon battle is. That battle has made me feel really glad you're my first challenger as a gym leader. I give you this in honor of the strength you and your Pokemon showed. Oh, little animation. Receive the basic badge from Tyrion. Here's your first gym badge, the basic badge. This is an important milestone. With this badge, Pokemon up to level 20 will obey you, including trained Pokemon. I want you to take this. Workup. Team A3 can teach your Pokemon to move Workup. When you use Workup while battling, it raises the use of attack and special attack. By the way, TMs can be used as many times as you want. In the Unova region, there are 8 Pokemon gyms and 8 gym badges. If you're a trainer, you should collect all of them. That will make it easier to fill out the pages of Pokedex. Yes, 2 years ago, Pokedex in hand, I left the journey with my friends. Noted. Well. Whoa, lag. That was weird. Hey! How was it? How'd your Pokemon battle with the gym leader go? Oh, it isn't the basic badge. Wow, amazing. You just set off on your journey with your Pokemon. You definitely have potential as a trainer, I'm sure of it. It is from me. It's a TM for move return. Okay. When a Pokemon knows return, the more it gets along with the trainer, the more powerful the move is. Still, that Sharon. Bianca! It's been 2 years, hasn't it? Oh, wow. Ooh, what's up? I thought it would be a good idea to register each other in the X transceiver. Now you can communicate with me through X transceiver. Me too! Oh. Or as Professor Juniper for you too. Oh, hi. Hey there, Nick. I'm Professor Juniper. Oh, there's a call button. Okay. Blanca told me you accepted the Pokedex. Thank you so much. Thanks to you, we'll all know more about Pokemon and be able to get along with them even better. Hi, Professor Juniper. It's really interesting over here. There are so many Pokemon we couldn't prove were here 2 years ago. Thanks for going so far for this errand, Bianca. And Sharon, how are you enjoying being a gym leader? Professor Juniper, it's been a long time. I'm glad you're doing so well. The gym leader position is very tough. If I had my usual partners, oh Sharon, having battles that come down to the wire will make you a gym leader who deepens the bonds between your challengers and their Pokemon, right? It'll be fine. Sharon's a new gym leader, I'm an assistant Pokemon professor, and Nick's a new trainer. We always have Pokemon by our sides. That's right, Bianca. Our world is a world where we live with Pokemon. Everyone, keep that in mind as you pursue your dreams with Pokemon. Particularly you, Nick. The Pokedex may be important. First, enjoy your journey with your Pokemon to your heart's content. Hey Nick, isn't Professor Juniper cool? If you talk to her on the X-Transceiver, she'll evaluate the completeness of your Pokedex or tell you a lot about how Pokemon evolve. You can call us too, of course. I'll tell you how well you and your Pokemon are getting along, okay? Bianca makes a good point. I'll tell you what I know about Pokemon abilities and Pokemon type matchups. Huh. Oh. Are you the gym leader? 1, 2, 3, let's battle. You look like a tough trainer. Understood. Please come to my Pokemon gym. What was that weak answer? I'm definitely going to take you down. Okay. Being a gym leader is even harder than I imagined. Next thing is to make it so you can use the C-Gear. The C-Gear is a cool device for communication, such as internet connection or Nintendo Wi-Fi connection. No. No. What? Huh? Okay, there you go. Imagine the C-Gear, touch the power symbol at the bottom right of the C-Gear screen. And after turning on the power, touch the question mark icon in the bottom right hand corner C-Gear screen, you can read about the C-Gear. Like, what are you gonna go do now? There's another Pokemon gym in Burbank City, which is just past Flockacy Town. I'm going to, heal at the Pokemon Center. That's what I'm gonna do. And then we're gonna save. Because we done. with today's stream. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed watching.